For Pacifica Radio, I'm Scott Baba. World leaders have begun reacting to the International Criminal Court's decision yesterday to issue arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his former defense minister Yoav Gallant, and Hamas officials, accusing them of war crimes and crimes against humanity over the war in Gaza and the October attacks that triggered Israel's offensive into the Palestinian territory. William Denislow has more.
On announcing the arrest warrant, the International Criminal Court alleged that Benjamin Netanyahu bears criminal responsibility for the war crime of starvation as a method of warfare. Israel's Prime Minister says the move is anti-Semitic, and the ICC's decision has divided opinion in Europe. Belgium's Foreign Ministry says that those responsible for crimes committed in Israel and Gaza must be prosecuted at the highest level. Hungary's Prime Minister calls it a brazen decision and is pledged to ensure Netanyahu's security when in his country. William Denslow, Brussels.
Meanwhile, Palestinian families in the Gaza Strip are often eating just once a day, even in areas where aid groups have relatively more access than the isolated and heavily destroyed north. A displaced family living in a tent in central Gaza says they go to bed hungry every night. The United Nations Humanitarian Office has warned of a, quote, stark increase in the number of households experiencing severe hunger in central and southern Gaza. Experts say a full-blown famine may be underway in the north. Israel says it allows enough aid to enter, but humanitarian groups say Israeli restrictions, ongoing fighting, and the breakdown of law and order pose major obstacles to distribution. Ukraine tightened its security today as the nation braced itself in the wake of Russia's latest attack using a new type of missile. Karen Chamas reports.
Ukraine's parliament has cancelled a session as security was tightened after Russia deployed a new ballistic missile that threatens to escalate the nearly three-year war. 3 Ukrainian lawmakers confirmed that the parliamentary session previously scheduled was cancelled due to the ongoing threat of Russian missile attacks. President Volodymyr Zelensky's office continued to work in compliance with standard security measures, according to a spokesperson. The move comes after Russia fired a new intermediate-range ballistic missile in response to Kyiv's use of US and British longer-range missiles capable of striking deeper into Russian territory. Russian President Vladimir Putin confirmed the missile launch in an address on Thursday. I'm Karen Chamas.
President-elect Donald Trump has named Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida, to be U.S. Attorney General, just hours after his other choice, Matt Gaetz, withdrew his name. Bondi is a longtime Trump ally and was one of his lawyers during his first impeachment trial. She's been a vocal critic of the criminal cases against Trump. She has also been a chair at the American First Policy Institute, a think tank set up by former Trump administration staffers. Gaetz stepped aside amid continued fallout over a federal sex trafficking investigation that cast doubt on his ability to be confirmed as the nation's chief federal law enforcement officer. Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump's choice to lead the Department of Defense has responded to questions about his alleged sexual assault case. Catherine Carley reports.
Trump's pick to lead the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, is dismissing reporters' questions about whether he sexually assaulted a woman in 2017.
I have, as far as the media is concerned, I'll keep this very simple. The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm going to leave it.
According to a just-released police report, the organizer of a Republican women's forum accused him of physically blocking her from leaving a hotel room, taking her phone, and then sexually assaulting her. Last year, the Fox News host paid her a confidential settlement to end what he calls a baseless lawsuit over consensual sex. I'm Catherine Carley for Pacifica Network and Public News Service.
A major storm moving through Northern California has toppled trees and dropped heavy snow and record rain after knocking out power to hundreds of thousands of people in Washington and Oregon. Forecasters warn that the risk of flash flooding and rock slides will continue through today. The National Weather Service has extended a flood watch for areas north of San Francisco as a plume of moisture known as an atmospheric river inundates Northern California and the Pacific Northwest. Up to 16 inches of rain is forecast in Northern California and southwestern Oregon. The storm system unleashed winds earlier this week that left 2 people dead and hundreds of thousands without power in Washington. I'm Scott Baba for Pacifica Radio.